Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live edition of a Q&A with you and me. I do one of these every weekday, or pretty much every weekday, and I appreciate it if you've become one of the super nomies. You're all my nomies if you're watching and listening, but the super nomies get tons of bonuses starting at just $2 a month. You want to watch all the live streams I do, all 4 of them every weekday? Just become one of the super homies, starting at $2 a month. It's really easy to do. Today's question is a follow-up to yesterday's live stream in relation to Apple's announcements around the Apple Watch, which I know some people are still inclined to say iWatch. It's not the iWatch, it's the Apple Watch. And I'm not going to answer the question, am I going to get an Apple Watch today? Because I've already answered that question. Today, I'm going to answer the question, who is the Apple Watch for? It is for a lot of different people, really. It is for people who are into fitness or who want to better monitor their health. Apple's made a pretty big deal about the health aspects of any one of its iOS devices that might be more incredibly portable. So as opposed to an iOS device like an iPad, which you're probably not going to be carrying around on you all the time, you might be carrying around your iPhone, and certainly a watch. Now, to me, the word watch is genuine, but at the same time, a bit disingenuous. It's called an iPhone, but do we really use it for phone functionality? Well, some people do, yes, and the feature's there. But I think most people use their iPhones as, what they used to use, compersonal computers? A compersonal computer. I just made up a word. Compersonal. There you go. We use phones for everything except for talking with people on the phone. And so a watch, or an Apple Watch, to me is more than just a watch. I think they're using the word to better accommodate our perception of what the gadget is or where it fits. Not just fits physically, but fits within the archipelago of experiences that Apple is trying to provide. So Apple Watch is to watch as iPhone is to phone. Just keep that in mind, and I think that's a very important distinction. Another important thing to keep in mind is that Apple Watch is not for everybody. It's really only for people who have an iPhone. Or, let's take the reverse stance. Imagine you're going to decide whether or not you're going to get a Windows Phone device, an Android device, or an iPhone. Which one are you going to go with? Well, remember what I've been saying for a few years now for people who've been paying attention past one video. It's not just about one device. It's about how that device interoperates with others. If they're eyeballing something like the Apple Watch, suddenly, the iPhone is not just a nicety, it's a necessity at this stage. Do I fault Apple for that? No, not at all. Not at all. Why would I fault them for it? They're pulling people deeper into their ecosystem. Every company wants that. Remember, Apple's a vertical player. Google and Microsoft, they're more horizontal in terms of how they engage users. So it's not going to play by anybody else's rules except for Apple's, and it doesn't really need to. So the Apple Watch would be for someone who has an iPhone or was thinking about getting an iPhone and was on the fence. Wasn't really sure if they wanted a smartwatch, because to me, being able to tell the time, it's a bonus. Everything that comes with that Apple Watch product is really about the convenience of having something that works on your wrist, interoperates with something that you might have in your pocket, but what is still a mystery to me is where that plays in with usability. I turn off a ton of notifications on my on all my devices, all of them, because they just annoy me. Most of them do. I only want to be notified about very, very important things. And unfortunately, with notifications, it's usually all or nothing. So for me, what would be the point of getting a phone call on my wrist when I'm already staring at my phone? Like, oh, okay, well, I guess I got a phone call. How am I going to take it? Suddenly, it's going to get a bit confusing. So I think the deeper value beyond notifications, which, Apple certainly played up, especially with glances, quick look. The advantages to that might be that you have better social interaction. It's certainly a lot more acceptable to do this at the table than to do this at the table. And let's face it, when was the last time you were able to glance at your phone, check an app, and then put it down within 5 seconds? Come on. We all know that smartphones can be time sucks. We all know this. You can't really do that on a wristwatch. Just pretend I'm wearing a smartwatch here. You look, you do your thing, and then you're off to the races. You get back to living life. So that's a way to accommodate Apple Watch. If you're someone who's looking to stay connected yet not be disconnected from the world by staring at this gigantic screen on a phone, it's a phone. I just turned into Pee Wee Herman there. Don't ask me why. It happened. So this is the profile of the person who might be, someone who would buy an Apple Watch. Forget about the easy answer of, well, if you support Apple, then you go buy an Apple Watch. I mean, anybody could say that. That's not even close to analysis. So it's it's something to keep in mind. It's also something to keep in mind that they're building in the price points to accommodate various parts of the marketplace. And I think that was very, very smart for them to do. Now, of course, Apple's going to get slagged because they're potentially charging people up to $17,000 to buy an Apple product. Why would you fault them for that? Don't buy it. Don't complain about something you're not going to. Oh my God, that's $17,000. Oh my God, never gonna buy that. Well, I'm never going to buy it either, but I'm likely going to buy a much more affordable, for me, a much more affordable Apple Watch, potentially the Sport, or potentially even the stainless steel edition. I'm specifically looking at a certain kind of band, which would make things a bit more difficult, because the band means so much to me, not for style, but certainly for comfort. And I like metal. I'm a big metal fan. Not that metal, but metal in general. I like blacks and silvers, not so much whites. But, I know I'm very white, very pale guy telling you that he doesn't really like white things. So, I'm very much looking forward to choosing the edition after seeing one in person or trying one in person, because I wouldn't want to make a decision like that without first trying. The Apple Watch is not going to be likely for someone who is wanting to upgrade every year or is expecting an upgrade every year, because I know that Apple is likely going to release new Apple Watches at a regular clip. I don't know if it's going to be year after year. What could they improve? Well, it could get thinner, battery life could get better, more sensors are added. There's certainly a lot of room for improvement. Some would argue that, well, we should have everything built into the watch, Wi-Fi connectivity and everything. Why you got to carry around an iPhone? It's Apple trying to sell you more products. Duh! They're a company. It's just Apple trying to sell you more products. This genius must have passed economics class then for saying that. I mean, just the amount of less than intelligent comments that I've seen come trickling in over social. Some of them are funny. Some of them are just laughable in terms of their perspective. Very, very laughable. I'm not making fun of you, but I am making fun of some of the things that some of you are saying. I am going to do that. There's a separation, though, between the two. Just think things through before you come to any conclusions. Do not expect Apple to act like Google at all. This is the wag of the finger here, right there. Wag of the finger. Don't do that. Different companies. And I'm sure there are definitely other use cases for who would be someone that would be a person that would be interested in the Apple Watch, a key demographic for Apple. I'm just giving you the top 3 or 4 from my perspective of who I think the Apple Watch is for. I'm potentially that person because I've been looking for a fitness tracker, been meaning to get in shape. Well, I'm kind of in shape. I'm round's a shape. You may not see it, but trust me, I know I've got a few pounds to lose. I've been looking for some motivation. That might be the thing. I use an iPhone. I like the way Apple does their gadgets. I live inside of Apple's ecosystem partially, and other ecosystems as well, because they can coexist. There can be more than one way of supporting your own geek lifestyle from more than one company, certainly. I'm not telling you what to get. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you what to say. I'm telling you my opinion. I'm telling you my perspective, because that's all I have. I obviously do not have an Apple Watch, but the plan is to possibly get one. Possibly. Maybe. Likely. We'll see. And of course, I'll be unboxing that and eventually posting a review if I do decide to get one. The review would likely be like a month later. I wouldn't rush. Like a lot of people would turn around a review like in a week. That's too quick. Let me give it a month's time. You work it into routine. Does it fit? What are some issues with it? What do you love about it? Give it some time. Too many people, too many of these quote unquote reviewers just turn around reviews too quickly. Not for me. Give me time to soak it in, to bask in the gadgetness. Thank you, everybody, for paying attention. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.